Hello, my friends. Welcome back for another video. I am doing a huge giveaway at the end of the month for Hailmas. I feel like it's the perfect time to do it. It is literally the giving season. All you guys need to do is subscribe to the channel, and I know when you do, it lets me know. Also, to comment and engage with each Hailmas video. Comment anything that you want. I will just be able to know that you are a part of the giveaway just by your comment alone. And I'm going to pick someone at the end of the month. I'm going to put a whole playlist together for Hailmas so you guys can keep up. And I know it's going to take you guys some time to watch because you're busy. So I'm going to pick the winner probably between December 25th and January 1st. But good luck to everyone. I love you all. And yeah, happy Hailmas. Happy Monday, everyone. And welcome back to Hailmas. This is my final week doing Hailmas. It really did fly by. It really did. And I really wanted to go out with a bang. And I wanted to start off this wonderful week with a video all about confidence, but more specifically, how to rebrand from insecure to confident and get rid of all of those limiting beliefs and really negative feelings about yourself so you can step into this ultimate glow up. Of course, I could not finish the Hailmas week without a collaboration with another amazing YouTuber, and this is my final collab for Hailmas, and I wanted to bring on someone who I know for a fact will give you the tough love advice that you guys all need, backed up by facts, in my opinion. This girl is so smart, she is so fabulous, and I just absolutely love and adore watching all of her content. So today's collaboration is with Vickita Trivedi, my dear friend, who is just so smart, so well versed, and honestly just such an it girl. And I really wanted to ask her to talk a little bit about how to get rid of those insecure feelings, and my God, did she deliver. So you guys are going to love today's collab, and I hope that you guys can get rid of those negative feelings so that you can step into 2024 feeling like yourself is going to be the best self.
You've been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try improving yourself and see what happens. First and foremost, take radical responsibility of your life, who you are, and how you feel about yourself. And begin this personal responsibility by releasing the story you keep telling yourself that everything terrible happened on its own. Constantly telling yourself you're a victim of life, your insecurities were forged at the hands of somebody else, and whatever else you keep telling yourself to justify your insecurities literally robs you of personal agency. All of your power vanishes when you do this, and you need every ounce of your power in order to rebrand yourself from insecure to confident. I say all of that to say, stop giving away your power to unhelpful perceptions of self. No one, not one person, is going to come into your life and choose confidence for you.
I will never forget hearing this quote that there's always someone less qualified than you living the life you want simply because they took action. And you know what? That quote really resonated with today's topic because insecurity is ruining your life. It's holding you back. It's making you feel broke, either overweight or underweight, ugly. It affects your relationships. It affects your work life, and it just makes you overall unhappy. All because you are a victim to the reality that you created for yourself.
First, I want you to understand what validation really is at its core and the meaning of it, because that understanding alone can shift your perspective in minutes. At the crux of it, validation is the acknowledgement that something is there. Validation is acknowledging what is and the certainty of something. That basically means I can acknowledge that I have this pimple on my face and validate its existence. So let's use that definition of validation to understand the difference between internal validation and external validation. When we are seeking external validation, we are seeking acknowledgement from somebody else. We want somebody else to validate that they see us and they acknowledge our existence. When we have internal validation, we seek acknowledgement from ourselves. We see ourselves in all that we are. We acknowledge our inherent value in existing, in our vision, and in our purpose. And when we are validating our own experience and our own existence, we don't need it or seek it from anybody else. So how exactly do we move from external validation to internal validation? First step is becoming a part of your own support system. And I want you to hear that again. become a part of your own support system. Sure, friends, family, a spouse is all great to have on the roster of your support system, but that is external support that is fleeting. It's unstable because we don't know if when we are going through an issue in our lives, our friend is going to be able to support us, our family members, or our spouse, because they are all dealing with their own adversity, their own challenges in their own life. So we have to make sure that they can actually handle our problems and our hardships when we bring them to them. And what if they can't? Then what are you going to do? So creating a support system that is solely based on other people is not going to help you. The most stable part of your support system comes from you being the main player.
A great way to improve your confidence and get rid of your insecurities in 2024 is doing confidence building activities. There's a lot of things that we can implement in our lives that boost our confidence and our aura and have us radiate that to others and honestly to ourselves. So some confidence building activities could be just doing something that you love or something that you're good at. This is something where I think a lot of people tend to fall short, and I think it's just that we get distracted, we are people pleasing, and we're doing things that we think other people want us to do. And we're not really honing in on our crafts. We're not honing in on what we're good at. We're not using our best qualities to our advantage, because a great way to get closer to confidence is doing things that we're good at or that we love that help us get that self-development created to where we view ourselves as valuable, as worthy, as someone who is able to occupy a space comfortably. And the best way is when you know what you're doing and when you love what you're doing. Another confidence building activity is going to the gym, doing anything that is physically good for our bodies, because if we work out, we feel better, we look better, and it is just something that I think a lot of us tend to overlook. We usually will focus so much on working out as a weight thing, but don't actually realize that it can improve our confidence and our mental health. If we are constantly doing things to improve our mental health, it naturally helps us with our insecurities and it helps boost our confidence. And another confidence building activity is anything that is goal achieving. So things that you can set your mind to and have a goal in place, whether it's financially, spiritually, physically. It could be any of those things. It could be an external or an internal goal that we have set for ourselves. When you set a goal and you achieve it, it naturally builds your confidence because you're able to bet on yourself. You feel good about the thing you did, and sometimes it even makes you better looking. It makes you smarter. It makes you more sound. It makes you more well-versed. And in all of those things, those naturally build confidence in a person. When you become whole, working on yourself and making sure that you can discover yourself from all aspects and seeing where you're good at things, where you're smart at things, where you're efficient at things, you start to really think, wow, I do feel valuable and worthy, and I do feel good being here, and I feel like I have a purpose.
You have to have self-validating techniques in place, and one example of this is to do a weekly, if not daily, credit check. So ask yourself, what do you do well? Where have you made progress in your life? What choices have you made recently or in the past that have benefited you today? What are you doing well? What decisions are you making that are self-serving? Maybe it's a new job, maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's the way that you're handling conflict. You have to do these credit checks very often to remind yourself and give praise to the things that you are doing well, because if we don't do this, we can get wrapped up in the things that aren't going right in our life, the decisions that we're making that aren't really benefiting us, or just when you simply feel like you have nothing going for you. When you're going through life with tunnel vision and you're forgetting to sit and acknowledge the things that you're doing right and doing these credit checks, you are living through the next thing. What can I do better? What can I do next? What is going wrong? We're always focusing on those things when we need to be focusing on the good things and the right things that we're doing for ourselves in order to build momentum to get to the next phase that we want to be at. Step number 2, becoming your own beauty standard. I talk about this incessantly on every video I make on confidence. I weave it in somehow because it is so important. Making society's game work for you instead of opting out of playing. The truth is, beauty standards exist and they always win. But you can benefit from them if you know how. Like Jordan Peterson says, fix your own game instead of playing others.
Stop putting off things that you know for a fact will bring you joy. What are the things that you're struggling with right now? What are the things that are holding you back from feeling like, I love myself, I love my life, and I am super great at what I do? It could be weight loss, physical changings, surrounding your life with better people, trying to actually get better at things. Okay, so I'm going to talk about things that we are doing internally and externally that are not bringing us joy, that could actually be improved with this self-work. So let's just say for an internal thing that you are struggling with is that you're shy and you are a homebody and you want to break out of your shell. Well, a great way to get yourself to a more confident version of yourself is to push yourself beyond the limits that you already do. If you're shy, you don't really know how to hold a conversation, you don't feel good doing anything that is out of your comfort zone, that means that you have to do things that you fear. Something like going out of the home and taking yourself on a solo date, forcing yourself to maybe speak to one or two people, or going to a networking event where you have to speak to other people and maybe kind of challenge yourself to asking them a few different questions that you wrote down prior to implement a healthy, good conversation. Maybe it's passing out business cards. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, but you're shy and you're reserved and you're insecure about your business because you've never actually branched out of your shell. Well, it's time for you to start passing out your business cards, giving them to people and allowing them to see who you are. What is the worst that's going to happen? Somebody is not going to take to you. Somebody's going to roll their eyes at you. Somebody's going to say, you're a terrible person, which will never happen. You will be okay. Everything's going to be fine. You don't know these people. Nothing in life should be too intimidating to face if you just prepare yourself for the occasion. An external thing that we can maybe fix is maybe we think that our wardrobe could be a little bit better. We're insecure about our looks because the way we present ourselves can be sloppy or not up to our standard of beauty. So now it's time to invest in some pieces in your wardrobe, whether it's a blazer, a dress, a pair of heels, a nice everyday bag, maybe even some makeup or hair products that are going to enhance our features. It is important that we stop putting off things that we know will bring us joy.
You have something beautiful and unique to flex, and I can say that with full certainty. So create your own game instead of playing society's. You might be like me, not tall, with blonde, luscious hair and blue eyes, but I'm still hot, and I know you're still hot too. How did I get here though, when I just spent 20 years of my life constantly striving to achieve a goal that was undeniably unachievable for me? I accepted the undeniable truth about my appearance, and I accepted what was never going to be a possible goal for me, becoming tall, blonde with blue eyes. So I gave myself a new goal, one that was achievable. And this new goal, becoming the hottest version of me. I want you to take society's conventional beauty standard, look at that, get your own photo up, and compare yourself to that conventional beauty standard, and ask yourself, what separates you from that beauty standard? Don't think of this as I'm outlining everything that's wrong with me and how I'm never going to be the beauty standard. I'm telling you to do this exercise so that you can see on paper what you have that these conventional beauty standards don't portray, and use the things that are unique to you to make yourself the hottest version of yourself. That is what I have coined becoming your own beauty standard.
Okay, a huge part of actually stepping into confidence is instead of always doing, we must be taking away things as well. So letting go of behaviors that don't help the cause. There are so many things that we do as humans, especially when we are in an insecure place in our lives, that are not allowing us to really step into a chapter where we can fully love ourselves and be confident. So some things that we might be doing is having imposter syndrome. You might feel insecure because you don't feel like you're valuable enough or worthy to be in certain spaces that you want to occupy. You must let that go in order to fully feel confident. You need to fix your attachment styles, whether that's anxious or avoidant. There are so many different things about how we view our ourselves through the eyes of others. Whether we are dating someone and it's a romantic dynamic, or it's a friendship or a work relationship and it's platonic, you can actually have a very insecure attachment style with these people. And a way to go from insecure to secure is to self-soothe, express yourself healthily, relinquishing control, which essentially means stop feeling like you always can control every single thing. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, if somebody doesn't like you, you can't change that. You need to validate yourself. So relinquishing control of others will really help you in becoming more secure in thyself. Also, taking romantic partners off of a pedestal. They are great, but they shouldn't be so amazing to the point where you view them as God. You need to stop doing that to people because it puts pressure on your partner, and it also puts pressure on your future. If this person ends up not living up to the pedestal role that you gave them, or they fall short, or they end up going through a rough season, you are going to be disappointed. You need to stop setting yourself up for disappointment, and having a secure attachment style will really help that. Being able to validate yourself, love yourself, self-soothe, and actually be able to find ways to be okay on your own or with someone, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. You need to just be okay regardless, no matter what happens.
The things you're insecure about, 9 times out of 10 can be altered without plastic surgery if that's not your vibe. There is always something that you can do to make yourself better than what you were looking like 5 years ago, what you were looking like 10 years ago, what you were looking like yesterday. You just have to audit yourself, and you have to stop perceiving yourself from the lens of a standard that you might not ever fit. And when I did this for myself, my life completely changed. The way I perceived myself completely changed, because now I was my own standard of beauty, and all I had to do was devise a plan on how I was going to uphold that standard of beauty. When you do this, it becomes a game of you versus you. No more jealousy, no more comparing yourself to other beautiful women, because now you're in your own league. You will release all comparison to other women, and you will be able to acknowledge their beauty without it taking away from your own. And step number 3, don't add, just take away. This is the step that you need to apply when you are starting this whole rebrand from insecure to confident at ground zero. We are living in a world where self-development is at the forefront of almost everything that we consume, if your algorithm is tailored that way, and if you're on this vibe, if you're watching this video, then you are. But that can feel quite overwhelming when we have all the information, all the tools, but we don't know what to do with it. If you don't know how to bridge the gap and use the tools, you are going to be in freeze mode. And that freeze mode is often what our bodies go into when we are trying to make changes in our lives. Our body is acclimated to one being, to one lifestyle, to certain habits and certain routines. And when you try to change that all at once, the body goes into its automatic trauma response, which is freezing. So to combat this very real problem, you shouldn't be adding new routines or new habits into your life just yet. It's important that you're subtracting before you're adding. Removing all of the bad stuff reduces just a little bit the resistance you might face if you were to add in new thought patterns, new habits, and new routines.
And laziness and people pleasing are also things you need to get rid of in order to step into your most confident self. People don't realize that people pleasing isn't just always about doing things that people say and this and that, but a lot of people end up getting married and becoming moms, and they forget to prioritize themselves at times and to pour into their physical appearance and pour into their self-love, and then they lose themselves along the line. So that is a form of people pleasing, and it tends to allow us to let ourselves go, and it's not healthy, it's not good, and then it ends up turning us into the most insecure versions of ourselves. A nice, wonderful step to go from insecure to confident is to date yourself and romanticize the process. I think a lot of you guys tend to get very mixed up in the hustle and bustle of life, and it does tend to make us insecure because we are focusing on pleasing our boss, our parents, our partners, our kids. We're always doing, working, being, and then we forget that romanticizing our own life and the little subtleties that give us pure happiness and comfort need to be addressed from time to time.
So the first part is to remove and subtract all of the bad stuff that you're currently doing that is contributing to the negative thought patterns of self, the way that you judge yourself, and all your insecurities. And the second part is to optimize your life for the new goal, which is confidence. This can look like unfollowing celebrities off of social media. Stop spending 30 minutes looking and analyzing yourself in the LED magnifying mirror. I see you. I see you. Anything that is currently contributing to your insecurities, they gots to go. And then we can talk about adding in new stuff, better stuff. I mentioned already that I've battled my own demons when it comes to the way I perceive myself. And I say that to say there is not one person on this planet that is exempt from insecurities and struggling with confidence and validation within themselves. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't add more issues to your already insecure brain and your insecure thought patterns. Only in the last 3 years have I become extremely confident and self-assured and unburdened from severe body dysmorphia, severe social anxiety because of how I looked and all of that surrounding my appearance. I spent all of my waking moments dreaming about being somebody else and truly believing that my life would be so much different and better if I just looked like somebody else. I spent all of my teen years comparing myself to girls who I looked nothing like and I was never going to look like. I spent my entire 4 years at university hiding in my room and locking myself away because I was so ashamed of who I saw when I looked in the mirror. But I can assure you that when I started to become confident, when it all changed for me, was when I decided that it wasn't the external that needed to change, it was the internal. And the funny thing about confidence is when you start with the internal, you will start perceiving your external a lot differently. You will stop comparing yourself to women that you're never gonna look like, and you will start focusing on how you can just enhance your beauty and your uniqueness. And I like to call it your sexy, juicy uniqueness.
Buy yourself flowers, good quality pajamas, self-care. Invest in yourself, whether it's an investment for your external or internal, whether it's, having a class, an educational class that you can take that will improve your levels of expertise in certain things you do. And this will help you. So working on your internal glow up just as much as your external will really help kind of cultivate this healthy habit of actually finding yourself beautiful inside and out, which essentially radiates in confidence. And I'm sure a lot of people can ask, well, how is dating myself really going to boost my confidence? And I want you guys to understand this. A lot of the times, the reason you're insecure is genuinely because you don't like yourself. It sounds like a simple math kind of situation, but it's true. You don't like yourself. So how can you almost have an arranged marriage with yourself where you force yourself to sit down with yourself until you like her? And the best way to do that is to romanticize the process, take yourself out on dates, improve your strengths, and figure out what it is that really is special about you. And nurturing that version of yourself and doing kind things for yourself that eventually allows you to say, you know what? I really liked that I did that. And I really think that I looked good here. And this was a really nice night for me. And you kind of are able to stack all of these wonderful experiences on top of each other and see the light come back into your life and into your eyes when it pertains to yourself. And I think back to like Charlotte from Sex and the City when she met Harry, and he's not necessarily her physical type, but he was so sweet and kind to her and nurtured her and was so good to her that she fell in love with him. I want you to be the Harry to yourself. I know for a fact that you watching this are a very beautiful person, but for some reason you don't view yourself that way, whether it's externally or internally. You need to be the Harry of your life to say, you know what? I'm going to show you how beautiful you are, how worthy you are, how fantastic you are. And the best way to do that is by dating yourself. The next way to really go from insecure to confident is to tap into your charm, your captivating aura, and to really just see like, what about myself can really just give off that je ne sais quoi that is beyond the beauty standard. We always talk about looks and things like that, and I think they are important, and it's an inevitable that people do care about looks, especially men. But how can we really improve ourselves from the inside out that actually makes us physically more attractive, and it's tapping into your charm. I talked about this in a previous video, but charm really gets someone, and you can trick somebody into thinking that you are the hottest, sexiest, most beautiful person out there just by radiating confidence, charm, and a beautiful aura. Utilize your unique qualities to carry you throughout this process. So being either flirty or quirky, cute, wise, knowledgeable, fashionable, a good speaker. Find the qualities within you that you possess and use them to your advantage. Use those as the front line to your overall appearance. And that is exactly how you get closer and closer to liking the version of yourself that you've created in this new year. At the end of the day, authenticity will always win. No matter how many hats you try on, the hat that is perfectly fit for your head is your authenticity. So tap into her. Of course, we can always zhuzh up little parts of our lives to make it more captivating and give a little bit of mystery and sexiness that maybe we have to pull out of ourselves. Use the things that you know you have within to your advantage, and it will bring you closer and closer and closer to your confidence. The more you try to run away from yourself and the more you try to hide yourself, the more insecure you will become.
Wanting to optimize your beauty and just clean things up a little bit and level up your outside game becomes so much easier and a natural part of the process of the confidence journey when you start realizing that it will never come from fixing the outside first. It will always come from fixing the inside. You'll notice your unique beauty and you'll spend your efforts on enhancing that instead of trying to change it. And that is the most powerful thing about becoming your own beauty standard.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on is just things that will automatically make you more attractive and confident, because these are just things that we can naturally do no matter what stage in our life we're in. So I'm going to give you a few things. Personal hygiene, having good smelling perfumes, good body washes, taking care of yourself, skincare. These are things that will naturally boost your confidence because you look good, you smell good, you feel good. You don't have to be the sexiest girl on the planet to smell nice. You don't have to be the most confident version of yourself to prioritize self-care, but at least it will get you closer to feeling that way, because personal hygiene is something that we can be proud of, that we know that we are stepping out into society being a very clean and well-presented person. We look better, we feel better, we smell better. We also reap the benefits of personal hygiene. It's not always for external validation. It also feels nice to just be that in your own home, which is wonderful. Time to build your capsule wardrobe and get your outfits together. Building up your wardrobe to fit your body type and to enhance your curves, your features, and things like that will allow you to say, oh, it wasn't that I looked bad, I was just not dressing for my body. I wasn't doing things that looked flattering on me. And it just takes a little bit of finesse to figure out what it is that makes us feel good on the outside. Of course, also kind of going off of that, enhancing your makeup and hair, figuring out the routine that's going to make you feel the most beautiful, finding good face framing hairstyles and makeup routines. And the last thing that will automatically make you more attractive is femininity. Of course, if you're watching my channel and you're a guy, you can kind of not really take to this particular tip, but for all of my girlies who are struggling with their security in themselves and they want to be more confident, femininity will always help you. This type of practice implemented will naturally boost your confidence. I will never forget a man talking about women that he's into, and he said that he doesn't care if a woman is big, small, or white or black or whatever. What he likes is a woman who's just very feminine, someone who radiates like that nurturing feminine quality. And any woman can really radiate that. And no matter what you look like, you can be a feminine woman. And it all is in the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the skill sets you have, how soft you are. When you are tapping into the most softest version of yourself, you become less insecure in your skin because you're finding something that works and that is natural to the body as a woman. Hopefully these tips helped you guys in getting into the best, most secure version of yourself for 2024. It is time that we step into our confident era, and it will actually trickle into other areas of our lives, whether it's financials and jobs and friendships and relationships and business relationships and everything in between, this particular thing being worked on will eventually fix all the other things in your life as well. So this is where you got to start. It's an internal and external process, and you must start from within to really get to the results. So definitely do these tips and you guys will see some exceptional results. And thank you so much, Vickita, for being a part of today's video. Her tips were absolutely golden and I really loved having her a part of today's video. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Mwah.